On tonight's edition of The Overtime, Flagstaff High School suffered a big loss last week. Can the Eagles recover? The Coconino Panthers are coming home after losing to Lee Williams. Can they end their losing streak? And NAU Soccer is headed out on a 2-game road trip. What can we look for from the Lady Jacks? And finally, NAU Football lost a big game and their star quarterback. What are the Jacks going to do? Thank you for joining us and welcome to this edition of The Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Ashley Myshak. We have a packed show for you tonight with a lot of local sports action, and joining me is sports reporter Sam Oceans.
Thanks, Ashley. It's awesome to be back. Shall we get things started?
All right, Sam. Well, let's get down to business and hit our first topic for the night. The Flagstaff High Eagles suffered a big loss to Thunderbird last week with a score of 38-14. Sam, this team was doing great early in the season. What happened?
Ashley, the Flagstaff Eagles looked like they had a chance against the 11th-ranked Thunderbird Chiefs as they went into halftime down by only a touchdown. However, the Eagles' offense was non-existent in the second half, and the defense couldn't hold down the nest. The Eagles allowed 17 unanswered points in the second half, and Christian Singleton, the Eagles' senior quarterback, was stymied by the Thunderbirds' defense as he was limited to only one touchdown. Now the Eagles move to 3-3 on the season and must overcome their first losing streak heading into the last road game of the season and 4 consecutive conference matchups looming, including the last game of the season against the crosstown rivals, the Coconino Panthers.
Yeah, Sam, let's just hope the Eagles can pull it together as they head down to Kingman to play Lee Williams, who also has a record of 3-3 and just came off a big win against Coconino. Don't look for the Volunteers to roll over as they have had a big wins over Kingman and Kingman Academy. If the Eagles can soar past the Volunteers, they will have a lot of momentum headed into crucial games against Mingus Union and Prescott, who currently sit above Flagstaff in the standings. The Eagles have a lot of talent, and after looking at their next few matchups, I think they have a chance to win out this season, which would give them 3 straight seasons of improving their record. Now moving across town, the Coconino Panthers also suffered a loss of 21-6 against Lee Williams High School, giving them a 2-4 record. Sam, what do the Panthers have to do to start producing wins?
The Panthers had a block punt return for a touchdown and trailed 14-6 at halftime. One thing the Panthers can take out of this game is their defense only allowed 21 points and limited the Volunteers to just 7 points in the second half. The Panthers' defensive average is 36 points again this season, so this game may be beneficial to establishing better defensive play heading into the home stretch. One big factor for the Panthers is to the point. They have been outscored 163-118 this season. Offensively, this team has averaged 20 points a game behind seniors Christian Casados and David Quick. The Panthers have 4 games remaining, and like the Flagstaff Eagles, they are all conference matchups. One benefit for the Panthers, they have an overall record of 2-4, but they have a 1-1 record in conference, which places them in 4th place with their rivals Flagstaff.
Well, it does not look good for the Panthers so far. If they want to turn around this season, they need to start playing a tighter defense. Hopefully, they can get back on track and snap their losing streak this week as they play Bradshaw Mountain at home. The Bears represent a tough matchup for the Panthers as Bradshaw Mountain is 4-2 on the season with some impressive wins, including a 28-7 victory over the Flagstaff Eagles earlier in the season. Looking past this week, if the Panthers can come out on top of this one, they have a shot to win their next 2 games against Prescott and Mingus, which would give them a shot to finish this year with a winning record for the first time since 2012. Now moving up to the college ranks, NAU Soccer is more than halfway done with their season and is sitting at a 4-6-2 record. What can we look for from the Lady Jacks this late in the season?
Yeah, Ashley, NAU is coming off a crucial 3-1 loss to conference opponent Weber State, and that pushes their conference record to all ones. The Lumberjacks will be on the road for 2 more games, including the game they played earlier this afternoon against North Dakota. The Lady Jacks need to contain opponents' offenses and alleviate some pressure off the shoulders of goalkeeper Meghan Dickman. Dickman has blocked 49 shots and allowed 22 goals in 13 games. To say that she has been busy this season would be an understatement. NAU needs to find a way to get the ball to Adrian Nix and Shelby O'Connor and follow through on their shots. Adrian Nix leads the team with 4 goals, which are all game winners. The Jacks have scored 1 goal or less 9 times this season and have been outscored by 11 goals. The key for NAU is going to be to follow through on their attacks and limit the penetration of their opponents.
NAU is preparing for a 2-game road trip this weekend with a couple of tough opponents in North Dakota and Northern Colorado. It is going to be a tough trip, but I'm not too worried. With a 690 save percentage this year so far, I am looking for goalkeeper Meghan Dickman to do what she does best, and for leading scorer Adrian Nix to continue her streak of game winners. Freshman Shelby O'Connor has had a hot foot as well. So if the Jacks can continue their passes and manage to maintain possession and get the ball past the opponent's defenses, they will have a shot to salvage a winning record and keep their hopes up for a Big Sky championship run. The high schools aren't the only football teams struggling right now. NAU Football also just came home from a big loss at Northern Colorado. Not only did they lose the game, they also lost starting QB Case Cookus to an injury. Sam, can NAU recover from losing Case?
Ashley, that is the million-dollar question, and the answer so far is no. Cookus' backup Blake Kemp, the senior transfer out of Chandler, has yet to prove he can perform under pressure, as he couldn't get the Jacks down the field on what could have been a game-winning drive with under 2 minutes remaining against Northern Colorado. However, Kemp did perform well overall. He completed 35 of his 46 passes and threw for 273 yards and a touchdown. Another highlight was the freshman running back out of Buckeye, Joe Logan, who ran for 98 yards. NAU went 7 for 18 on 3rd down against Northern Colorado, which gives them a 39% conversion rate on the season, and they are 31 of 79 overall. If Cookus is out for an extended period, it's going to be difficult for the Jacks, but not impossible. I think the key for NAU will be establishing the run game with Logan and senior Kendall Taylor, as well as cracking down on defense and containing opposing offenses.
It's going to be hard to adjust to a new quarterback, and the whole team will have to play a little differently with the new QB. The Jacks are in for a couple of hard weeks while Cookus recovers from a shoulder injury. The team has just seemed to be in a funk all season as they went from being the favorites to win the Big Sky and now sit with a 1-4 record after 5 games, dead last in the conference. One of the few bright spots for the Jacks had been the outstanding play of quarterback Case Cookus, but now with him out, it will put more pressure on a defense that has been struggling all season long. NAU will be looking for their first Big Sky win of the season against Montana State tomorrow in Bozeman.